So in the next couple of days, Apple is pretty much going to go ahead and give us the next beta of iOS 17. So it's going to be that major next release, something that we've been looking forward to pretty much for about a year now. And from everything that we've seen, it's looking like this update is going to be a much bigger update than initially thought. And it's going to be insane what Apple's going to be able to do within this update. However, I will tell you, with every single update that Apple ever makes ever, you are almost always in a way better situation if you just go ahead and wait out on installing this version of software. Again, I've already said this the last 3 days, do not do it. But within the iOS 17 beta, your iPhone is going to experience lots and lots of changes. And the first release of iOS 17 is going to be different than the final release of iOS 17, if that makes any sense. So that is another reason why I probably wouldn't recommend installing a beta. But the release date of this thing is going to be June 5th. That's when WWDC is. There's going to be lots and lots of features and probably brought over into this version of software. And my thing is that if Apple does actually end up bringing the biggest one, which is probably sideloading, this is going to be a crazy feature that Apple is going to have to somewhat implement. And again, I'm going to be curious to see what Apple ends up doing here. I think if Apple ends up doing the thing where they go ahead and basically they just give it to, iPhones from a certain country, I think that is going to be a very, very sad thing. And I really hope Apple doesn't do anything like that at all. But if they do end up doing something like that, well, I'm sure those specific devices and people who are within those countries are still going to be happy. And I'm sure Apple at some point may end up having to port it over to all countries in the future at some point anyway. Now, on top of that, the iPhone lineup in which who are basically going to be supported within this device, it's going to be a little complicated. I'm not 1000% too sure which iPhones are going to be getting these types of features, but I will say for, an average iPhone in 2023, if you have an iPhone, Apple said 86% or 82% of iPhones on iOS 16 are still, 82% of iPhones that are active are on iOS 16. That probably means that 82% of people watching this video will probably have an iPhone that is supported on iOS 17. So, I'm pretty sure all iPhones that are getting iOS 17 are already on iOS 16 as well. If you have an iPhone on iOS 15, that's a little bit of a different story. But I will tell you, in this day and age, iOS 17 is right around the corner, and your iPhone is going to be changing soon, and you're going to be getting tons and tons of, features and everything thrown at you. But I would recommend you to stay strong. Do not install any of those, updates just yet. You are much, much better off installing it when it officially comes out in official form. I would not recommend installing this beta as of right now, in my opinion. I'd recommend waiting until it's a little bit more mature, especially November. That's probably the best time to install it. So in terms of that kind of covers it up. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.